So look, if you've been at 5 to 10K per month on Upwork for a long time, it's because you fundamentally don't understand these 5 frameworks. And I'm not exaggerating. If you don't understand these things, it's almost impossible to scale. And as somebody that has made over $65,000 last month on Upwork alone and over 400K in closed deals, I feel confident that I can give you this advice. And on top of that, every single time that I've adopted one of these frameworks, I've moved 10x ahead when it comes to the scale of my business on Upwork. So again, if you're stuck at 5 to 10K per month, you gotta know these frameworks. But let's jump straight into it. So framework 1 is something that's almost so important that I have to break it down into 2 separate parts. The first part is the reality of your earning potential on Upwork, and the second part is the small fish mindset. So let's talk about that first one, the reality of your earning potential on Upwork. If you think that you can't make hundreds of thousands of dollars on Upwork, and not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of dollars a year on Upwork, then you are sadly mistaken. A new website came out called Upwork MRR, and on this website, it shows exactly how much people are making month to month on Upwork. And the statistics on there are the lowest that it could possibly be. On that website, it shows that some people on Upwork are making over $2 million a year, which is insane. And the crazy part is, whatever those numbers are on Upwork MRR, that's the lowest that they could possibly be, because the number is based on the money that is actually being collected and withdrawn to an extent from Upwork. Whereas if you actually have a deal that's worth 500K and you've only done about 100K worth of it, it's not even going to show that on the website. So in my opinion, it's basically impossible to argue that there aren't huge clients on Upwork and people making a lot of money with Upwork. And for context, I've studied and queried the top 10,000 freelancers on Upwork, and the average person in those top 10,000 is making anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000. And the top 100, the average in there is around $39,000, which is insane. So when it comes to your earning potential on Upwork, it's essentially uncapped. $60 million plus a month of revenue is flowing between all of the different markets. And again, it doesn't matter the skill, the niche, or the country. Some of the biggest people on this website are people in India, Nigeria, it doesn't matter, US, UK, wherever you're from, there's a lot of money to be made on Upwork. So your earning potential is massive. And when you believe that and you adopt that framework, things get easier because you believe it's possible and you start attracting those types of clients to your Upwork. So that's the first part of framework 1. The second part is the small fish mindset. Now, in my opinion, I think of myself as a small fish on Upwork. And I know you watch this YouTube channel and you'll see me close a client for like $160,000 or make $65,000 in a month, when really if I was just to stretch the period out to 40 days instead of 30, you could argue I'm making 100K per month on Upwork. But I still perceive myself as a small fish. And the reason for that is because I am. There's people that are making more than me on Upwork. I'm just a YouTuber talking about it, and there's somebody that's an agency owner. If you're on Upwork, you have to believe that you're a small fish, and you have to adopt that mindset, because at the end of the day, there's always new levels. There's always bigger things that you can be doing. I have people join the mentorship all the time, and they're at 5 to 10K per month, and then I show them the strategies that took me from like 10K per month to like 50K per month, and they're blown away. They've never even heard these strategies, and you just don't know what you don't know. So it's good to adopt a small fish mindset, because that's going to help you move forward on Upwork. So for framework 1, your income is 100% uncapped and you have a small fish mindset. If you adopt that, you're going to win. But what about framework 2? Framework 2, in my opinion, is the most important one, and this is based on pure data. For context, I have hundreds of people that apply to work with me every single month. Last month was over 450 people just from the YouTube channel alone. And when me and my team talk to you guys, one of the main things that we ask you is, what's your dollar per connect value? How much are you making per revenue per month? What's your profit margin? What's your impressions to invites? What's your clicks to invites? I ask you these statistics, and do you know what's funny? Out of thousands of people that have applied to work with us, very few people are actually tracking this. If maybe, like, no over exaggeration, 20 people out of thousands of people. So tracking everything is the biggest framework, in my opinion, that will make a big difference to your Upwork profile and your Upwork scale. Let me say that again. Nobody tracks stuff on Upwork. But I, for example, use this sheet, which I've showed you guys on my YouTube channel, and I'll put the link for this in the description. It's completely free. There's no opt-in or collecting your email address or anything. You can just use it for free. But I use this to track all of my metrics. Because especially if you want to work with me and my team one-on-one, and you actually want to work with me specifically one-on-one, one of the first things I'm going to ask you, if you want to go from 10K to 100K, is I'm going to say, what's your dollar per connect value. Like for every dollar that you put in, how much do you get back on the connects? I'm going to ask you about your conversions from your profile views to your impressions and what the conversion is for each of those things. Because by knowing those things, I can dissect where the problem is in the funnel and then we can fix those things. Does that make sense? I mean, most people don't even know how much they're spending on connects a month. And look, this isn't just important in terms of working with me, just for yourself when it comes to scaling. Just think about this. If you know for every dollar I put in, I get this much out, then it's much easier to scale. Like for us, for every dollar that we put into Upwork Connects, we get a $30 back. Think about it. If every single time you gave me $1, I give you $30 back. You wouldn't say to me, well, can I give you another dollar? You'd be like, can I give you $10,000, right? So I could give you $300,000, right? So it's really important to know your metrics because a lot of you guys are worried about spending more and scaling more and things like that, but you don't even know how much you're spending. You don't even know if it's profitable. You don't track these things. And because of that, it's impossible to scale. Even if you adopt the frameworks that I talked about in framework 1, you can't scale if you don't track things. So please use the sheet that I sent you. It's completely free. It's just a demo one. I have a much better one for the people at Upwork Wales, but it's free and it will get you 99% of the way there. And as long as you're tracking yourself and you're also doing the things from framework 1, you're going to be able to move forward a bit further. Now, framework 3 is actually really simple and it only works if you've done the other 2 frameworks. But once you've got those other 2 frameworks in place, then this is probably one of the easiest ones. And it's as simple as this. If it's profitable, scale. Ultimately, if you're getting a decent return on every dollar that you spend on Upwork Connects, then just scale. There's no reason to not scale unless you have some sort of bottleneck on the service delivery. If you're making money with the connects, then scale. And to be honest, after speaking to many of you guys, it's very rare that I meet people that aren't actually profitable on the connects. And if they aren't profitable on the connects, it's because you guys are fundamentally doing something wrong. But at 5 to 10K per month for the people that are watching this video, you're probably profitable on the connects. So you can actually just scale as long as you've got those other frameworks and as long as you're tracking. But that's also why the tracking becomes so important because you can only scale as far as you track it. Because once you track it, you'll know, now we're actually getting like a lower return on investment. And then we can like bring it down a little bit, understand what's going on and so on. A little side note about this as well that I want to say is that you can scale infinitely on Upwork. But what I would say is only change one thing at a time. You want to be like a scientist, you know, you want to change one variable at a time. So if I'm scaling, I'm only going to change like maybe the title of my Upwork profile, or I might change the niche that I'm boosting in, or I might change a new proposal strategy, for example, right? Only change one thing at a time because then you know what's making the changes month to month, especially as you're scaling. That's just something to keep in mind as well. Now, framework 4, in my opinion, is one of the most important things. And it's one of the best things that's allowed me to scale, but it's a very hard thing to explain in one video. And I think I need to make a completely separate, longer video for this. Framework 4 is all about having a great team. As you've seen on this YouTube channel, I've been able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars on Upwork. And the reason for that is because I have a great team that actually can do the service delivery. And again, I'm going to make a completely separate video about this, but I want to distill the kind of main high level points into a few things here. You need to have a team that is client facing. The reason for this is because if I'm always the one that has to talk to the client, if I'm always the one that has to upsell the client, if I'm always the one that the client messages when there's a problem, then I will always be bottlenecked by the service delivery and it's impossible for me to scale. Like for example, I have a client for $160,000. How am I supposed to work with a client for $160,000 without a team? And especially without a team that's client facing. It would be impossible. It'd be impossible for me to get on other calls. It'd be impossible for me to scale. And because of that, it'd be a nightmare and you wouldn't actually want it. And a lot of you guys talk about wanting to make 50, 60, 70, 100K per month on Upwork. But if I gave you that level of responsibility right now, and I gave you that money, you might think, great, I've got that money. But I'm telling you, you'd be stressed out because now you've got to actually do the work. Now you've got to actually make sure the client is happy. And it's one thing to close the client for $160,000, but it's another thing to make them happy and then upsell them more, which, for example, we've done with that client. They're doing another 100K contract with us after this one. So having a great team is really important. Having them client facing is great. I mean, my team even handles some of the upsells and all of the client meetings. And so I don't necessarily have to be involved in that. And on top of that, when I say client facing, I also mean in terms of how they look. I don't care how good you are. If you're a developer or you work on my team, if you look like trash when you jump on a call, I won't hire you. I don't care how good you are. Everybody on my team has to look the part, has to be really cool, and has to be interesting. And the way I want it is if a client jumps on a call with my team, I want them to like them and my team more than they like me. The reason for this is because then they can build the relationship with their client. Many of my clients have tried to poach my team. And because of that, I know I'm doing a good job because that means my team are good. But as long as I keep looking after my team and paying them well and so on, then I'm never going to have that problem. And that leads me on to another thing when it comes to having a great team is pay them well. Don't always try and extract 80% profit margins out of every single thing. It's not necessary, right? You'd be better off making 60% and giving your team a little bit of extra money than making 80% and always having to be involved with the client work. It's not needed and it's unnecessary. It comes from a scarcity mindset. It comes from the mindset that you don't think that more money is going to come. So you want to keep and extract all of the money like Gollum. And you just don't need to do that. And again, that kind of comes back to that first framework of believing your earning potential. If you're going to make millions of dollars this year from Upwork, why are you trying to extract every single penny out of every single deal? It's not needed. Make sure your team are happy. Make sure that they're client facing. And when you do pay them well, they're going to go above and beyond, and they're even going to close some of the deals for you and bring referrals and bring other great team members. You got to have a standard of excellence for this stuff. And that's why framework 4 is so important. And look, this leads me on to framework 5, which in my opinion is the most important framework. And you're probably going to watch this and be like, here we go. But trust me, this is super important and you need to hear me out here. When I first started on Upwork, it took me years just to get going and making sure that everything was working right. And, I was able to get a few decent clients, but I made so many mistakes along the way. And because of that, I'll get students results in my mentorship in 90 days, what literally took me years to achieve on my own. And the reason for that is because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody like guiding me, holding my hand, giving me resources, saying, hey, don't do that because that's going to screw you over. And there's so many scenarios on Upwork where I wish somebody would have been in my corner to do that for me. So when it comes to framework 5, it's all about mentorship. Why are you trying to scale on your own? Why are you trying to go from 10K to 50K? Blind. It's like people going in a rocket to the moon. It's not like the people in the rocket are the ones organizing everything. There's an entire team on the ground of specialists that are helping them figure out how to get there and making sure that everything is going well and telling them what to do and what not to do and making sure that everything goes smoothly. And that's what we do at Upwork Wales. We make sure that no matter what happens, you're guaranteed to actually get results on Upwork because we've done it for ourselves. And a lot of the people that work on my team have actually been through the same mentorship that people are actually going through in the mentorship program. And because of that, we have like a very cohesive team of people that are like, look, bro, I've been there, and they can help you along the way. And it's not just bottlenecked by me. You've got the community of many other people that are going on this similar journey. So in my opinion, framework 5 is the most important. You don't need to figure this all out on your own, and we can guide you there. You can figure this out on your own. You can do this on your own. Honestly, you can. But why? And if you waste another 6 to 12 months, how much is that costing you in lost revenue by not doing this? So if you haven't already decided to work with us, or you're interested in working with us, but you're a bit on the fence, click the link in the description, jump on a call with me and my team. We want to help you because this is what changed my life. I used to roll burritos for a living, and now I make hundreds of thousands of dollars from Upwork, and I want that for you too. So if I can do it, you can do it, but we can help you get there way faster. And look, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. These are genuine frameworks that when I adopted these, it helped me push forward a lot in my business. And for me, it made a big difference, especially the things like tracking and believing my Upwork, earning potential, which I still don't think many people believe is actually possible. There's millions of dollars on Upwork, I'm telling you. And you just got to go out and grab it. And if you want to check out some of my other videos where I talk about exactly how to do these things, like how to make the profile and so on, you can click around on the screen right here. But I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.